Well, it was a fantastic return to Durban for the Extreme Fighting Championship for EFC 60, where history was made with the first women's title fight in African MMA. Joining me to digest the action from last weekend, as well as to look forward to EFC 61 next month in Sun City, is EFC matchmaker Graeme Cartmell. G, thanks for coming in, mate. What did you make of the main event between Amanda and Jackie? Did it live up to its historic billing?
I think it blew people away. I heard a lot of critics going into this saying, "Why is this the headliner?" That was kind of what was floating around on social media. And didn't they just prove that women can hold their own and put on amazing fights? So yeah, it far exceeded my expectations. But I always knew they were both going to come and put on a show for the fans, because Amanda doesn't mince her words when and her intentions when she gets into it, and Jackie had everything to gain by fighting her. So I thought it was a great fight, a really, really cool fight. Yeah,
I thought Jackie proved a lot of people wrong in that first round, where she took a lot of punishment, gave as good as she got, able to put quite a lot of strikes on Amanda as well, and some fantastic counters. Just gutted it out. What great determination from both girls.
Different type of fight for both of them, really, because I think they were a lot more relaxed and they eased themselves into it instead of just blazing straight at each other. And that's something that Amanda's used to, is going straight out there and forcing her will on her opponent. But she laid back and she was a lot more technical. She moved well. We didn't see these wild punches. She got in there, she stuck and jabbed and moved. I thought it was great.
Yeah, much improved ground game from Amanda. With rolling with Dallas and Rodney, as you'd expect. Be interesting to see her, match up again with someone like Perret. I mean, what are your plans for it's a flyweight and a strawweight division, the EFC women's division. You've got some great talent. And talking about that, who can we expect Amanda to defend her title first against?
Well, a little bit of extra information on top of that is I'm now really looking at the female landscape, the women's divisions. And after being in Durban, seeing 4 girls that are talented that I could sign tomorrow, but I don't have the weight classes for them, and knowing that there are females around Africa that I can bring in, I really want to try and explore a bantamweight division for girls, because there's just so many of them, and we can't deny that talent. There's Boomy, there's this huge talent out there for those girls. But focusing in on Amanda Lino herself, I really want her to have the chance to redeem herself against Perret. I mean, that was a quick knockout. We all saw that. She rushed her. Now, being a little bit more calculated, I think it'll be a different fight. And I want to do that in October, back in Durban, whether it's the headline or the co-main. She certainly proved she can pull it off now and bring the Durban fans to Sabaya, so we might do it again there. Well, actually, we will do it there.
That'll be a cracking fight, because I think Amanda's a very different fighter from when she was, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, almost, that fight against Perret? And are you in contact with Isabella and her management? Is there something they're keen to come back and fight in the UFC?
The idea was that she would fight internationally, get back on a winning streak, because she actually fought internationally and lost her last fight. Kind of a flash TKO, as it was. So kind of a strange turn of events there. But I would like for her to have got a win and then come back and challenge Lino. But she's the girl. She's definitely the one to watch out for. So they want it. We want it. Let's do it in October.
Fantastic. Women's division, the EFC growing leaps and bounds. Great to see. Let's talk about the co-main event between Leon and Martin.
Strawweight division. We didn't hatch on that. We want to get Danilo Lysov to fight for the inaugural strawweight title.
Oh, well, against who would that be?
So I've lined up a few international opponents. There was supposed to be a kind of a building of a Mikhail Desejny versus another international now, but that kind of fell apart. So what I've decided to do is bring in a really good international. I've got my eyes on a girl named Alicia Zapatelli, who's 2-0 and currently a wrestling phenom. And Danilo wants that fight, and she wants to contend for the strawweight title, and I think she's the girl to do it after the Irene Rivera fight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic fight.
Took her apart. I mean, crazy fight.
Where is Irene Cabello Rivera at the moment?
She's taking a bit of a break from MMA. I think she's focusing on her boxing, getting her head right. The Danilo fight, fights like that, where you go in as a heavy favorite and you're highly touted, and then all of a sudden, pure determination and will means that you lose a fight. I mean, that was all that Danilo had over Irene, was just this, I am going to go through these punches. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to destroy this girl. That was just determination. I think it affected Irene mentally, and I think she wants to come back, but in a good space.
Right. Cool. So let's talk about that co-main event between Leon Maynard and Martin van Staden. Kind of a shame we only got to see like almost 2 minutes of these legends duking it out, but perhaps a reminder of the Punisher's power.
You know, it's strange because it's a Martin signature, you know.
The left-right?
The left-right. It's a signature. And after speaking to the CIT team, I kind of understood what had happened is that, you know, take this for example. Martin van Staden's last 6 losses, his 6 losses have all been against CIT guys. They know how to beat him, in theory. Yeah. And I think that Leon didn't spend enough time with CIT as a camp. He went and trained in Thailand. Right. And came back with a very different style, old school Muay Thai style, instead of, you know, getting the game plan going, which is what they are very good at. Yeah. So that kind of led to the loss, in my opinion. And it was beautiful work from Martin. He's in such a special space right now, mentally and focused, and it seems like nothing's fazed him. That's always been his problem, BMT. Every time we threw him into a fight where it meant something, he would crumble. And now he's, you know, really got a hold of that problem, and he's killing it. Lightweight
division, Don Madge is the champ. What's next for Martin?
Okay, so, I mean, I spoke to Martin and I said, and you've said it in the commentary, this is the thing that's eluding you, this title shot, and he wants it so badly. Who knows which way Don's going to go, but ultimately he's going to be behind Don Madge until Don Madge loses that title. That's just the way it works.
So who's the contender at that division then?
There's quite a few actually, but the one we wanted to focus on, we wanted to make the super fight between Danny Henry and Don Madge. And we wanted to do that in September, but, and I hate to do this to fans because, you know, you get them all excited and then it doesn't happen. But Don's fingers bust quite badly. He's been in for surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. And Danny's actually broken his foot. So it's a combination of the two not being able to fight one another or in their respective divisions. So it's fine. We're going to build up contenders in those natural divisions and see how it plays out towards the end of this year.
And Leon Maynard will always be in that mix for you?
He'll always be in that mix, and I really would love to appeal for him to go to featherweight. I think he would be spectacular there.
Yeah, he mentioned
with
it at
the
press conference,
refocusing. I mean, there's so many great fights for the, and even if he gets back into contention and then fights a guy like Danny Henry, I would love to see that fight. You know, so with a bit of mental work and refocusing, I think he'll be back there very soon.
Yeah, I agree completely. What can you say about Bokang Masanyane? I mean, I've said it a few times before. I don't put pressure on the kid, but he's definitely a future champion with a shadow of doubt. But what a fantastic, entertaining fighter. Great attitude, thoroughly engaging. What's the future for that kid?
You know, I want to harp on one thing with this guy. I have so many athletes who debut with EFC, and the problem that they have is in the gym, they kick butt everywhere they go. They are destroying their gym partners. They're amazing. Every aspect of the game is amazing. But then when they get in the hexagon, they don't have BMT. They don't have that relaxed, natural, you know, they love the environment. And I think years on the mat in wrestling has meant that BK has that. He has that natural ability to go in there and just relax. And it showed. He was taking shots from Abdullah. He absorbed it, let it go, and then worked his game plan. That kid is going straight to the top. And, I mean, I'm not far from putting guys like Mourinho Kutendana in front of him, which I think would be a great fight. Bringing out internationals as guys like Jake Hadley, who is Yannick Bahati's training partner. He's the amateur champion in the UK. He hasn't been defeated. Nobody's touching this kid. Bringing a guy like that out for BK to fight. There are so many options. I know that it's kind of he's jammed behind his teammate and best friend.
Yeah, he's staying at bantamweight and Demart's the champ. Yeah.
So, and flyweight. I mean, even if we went to flyweight, he's still got JP to worry about. So we'll give him guys. We'll give him opponents. We'll keep him active, and you might just see a superstar, you know, bubbling underneath the surface, and then when he does get his chance for a title shot, it'll be amazing.
In terms of his opponent in that fight that he beat, I thought Abdul Hassan gave a really good count of his jits on the ground, but also very honourable, very giving to his opponent in defeat, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's turned into a consummate professional, you know. And in fact, it's not that he's turned into one. I think he's just more polished. He's the type of athlete that you can, after the fights, I WhatsApped him and he said, I want to get back in there. And now knowing, and I was so glad that he said that in his interview, he said, I want to challenge myself. I see a guy that looks better than me and that is challenging in certain aspects, and I want to have a go at that. Yeah. That is the epitome of what a fighter is, and that's why I love dealing with him. And I can phone him tomorrow and go, I'm going to fight for you in Sun City, and let's do it. It's a great opponent. And he's awesome. He's awesome.
We're actually going to do a feature on the clinch coming up in the next couple of weeks on the Hassan brothers.
Yeah, you got it.
They're
a great crew.
Cameron Mankey's continues to impress, albeit, you know, a bit unassumedly. And Gordon surprised quite a few people with his tenacity on the mat. I mean, he went all 3 rounds with Cameron, which a lot of people in the past couple of Cameron Mankey's fights haven't been able to do. I mean, this guy's submitting people left, right, and centre, isn't he? I mean, what's the future for Gordon Woodman?
Gordon will be perennial. He'll always float around in the surface of being something spectacular because, you know, it's okay. He's got 4 kids, a wife, a full-time job, and he still manages to put on shows like that. Yeah. Imagine if he could focus all of his attention on mixed martial arts. He'd probably drop a weight class and come in there and start smashing everyone in that division because he has that tenacity. I just think that for him right now, he needs to keep fighting. I mean, that's what he wants to do. He wants to get back in there. He wants to fight. And that's where Gordon is good, is when he's challenged, when you throw him up against a Georgiev, and he can really hash out a fight that makes sense for him. Yeah. So I want to see him back in there. And Mankey's is a contender.
Dude, five winning streak, Cameron Mankey's. Before Gordon, he was subbing people left, right and centre. 3 rear naked chokes in the first and second rounds. I mean, he's so unassuming, but he's an absolute star. His ground game is absolutely incredible. Does he, as a matchmaker, does he ring you up? Does he push you for fights? What's his attitude like? What's he like as a guy?
He is exactly the way he is in front of TV camera and anybody who's interviewing. Yeah. Relaxed and very calculated. He works out his decisions based on his time frames, and he'll never jump at opportunity. He's not like that. So if I phone him now and say, Cam, you got a title shot, he'll go, okay, let me think about it. What time frame do I have? You know, so he won't just accept something on the fly. That being said, Yannick Bahati WhatsApped me yesterday and said, I don't think Dricus is going to show up in August, which is really far-fetched, but at the same time, he said, put Mankey's in there if Dricus pulls out. Yeah. Dricus isn't pulling out, I mean.
No chance.
Anyway, it just shows you that now the champion is seeing Mankey's as a contender and something that rings the bell for us, going, okay, that makes sense, you know, and I like Mankey's. I think he could be quite exciting as a contender. Yeah.